The spotlight hit the small stage, and the room fell silent. A thin boy with worn-out shoes and a shy smile stood in the center. His clothes looked simple, almost too big for his fragile frame, but there was something in his eyes, a quiet strength that made the audience lean forward in curiosity. No one expected what was about to happen. He held the microphone tightly, took a deep breath, and began to sing, "Hotel California." From the very first note, his angelic voice filled the room like a wave of emotion. The softness of his tone, mixed with the raw depth of his soul, made people freeze in their seats. Judges who had heard thousands of voices before exchanged stunned looks. They weren't just hearing a song, they were hearing a story told through pain, hope, and love. It was as if this boy, who came from nothing, had poured his entire life into every lyric. His name was Angelo, a 13-year-old boy from a small village in the Philippines. He grew up in poverty, often singing on street corners to earn a few coins to help his mother buy food. His father had left when he was very young, and his mother worked tirelessly, cleaning houses from morning until night, but still struggled to provide. Angelo's only escape was music. He sang whenever he could, on the streets, at school events, or in front of neighbors who cheered him on. Singing wasn't just his talent, it was his lifeline. When Angelo heard about auditions being held in the city, he dreamed of joining, but the journey seemed impossible. They had no money for bus fare, no decent clothes, and no connections. His mother almost discouraged him, afraid he would be heartbroken if rejected. But Angelo's determination was stronger than fear. A neighbor, who always admired his singing, gave them enough money for the bus ride, and with borrowed clothes from a cousin, he went to audition. The moment he walked on stage, many in the audience whispered among themselves, doubting him because of his appearance. Some thought he looked too weak, too poor, too ordinary to impress anyone. But Angelo ignored the stares. He knew this was his only chance. As the song continued, tears began to roll down the faces of the judges. The audience, once skeptical, now sat frozen in awe. The boy's voice wasn't just beautiful, it carried weight, pain, and innocence that touched every heart in the room. His rendition of "Hotel California" was unlike anything they had ever heard. It was raw, pure, and filled with emotions that couldn't be faked. When he sang the final note, the hall erupted. The crowd stood to their feet, clapping and cheering with all their strength. The judges wiped their tears and one of them immediately slammed the golden buzzer. Confetti rained down as Angelo stood there in shock, tears streaming down his face. For the first time in his life, he wasn't just a poor boy from the streets. He was a star. But Angelo's journey didn't stop there. With recognition came new challenges, managing fame, handling pressure, and staying true to himself. Some people doubted whether a boy like him could continue to succeed. Others tried to take advantage of his newfound fame. Yet, Angelo remembered why he sang in the first place. It wasn't for money or applause, it was for his mother, for his village, and for the little boy inside him who once sang on the streets hoping for a better tomorrow. Every performance after that became more powerful. Audiences connected not just with his talent, but with his story of resilience and hope. He inspired countless children who felt invisible, proving that no matter where you come from, your voice can change the world. By the end of the competition, Angelo had become more than a contestant, he was a symbol of courage and faith. Though life had given him countless struggles, he transformed his pain into something beautiful that reached millions of hearts. The message was clear: talent has no boundaries, and dreams belong to everyone, even those who start with nothing. As Angelo stood on stage holding his mother's hand, he looked out into the cheering crowd, smiling through tears. He had done it. His voice had melted hearts, changed lives, and most importantly, proved that hope shines brightest in the darkest places.